As Games Workshop prepare to release their most expansive, audacious and ambitious campaign so far, the Psychic Awakening, let us look at the 9th Legion of the Legiones Astartes, the Noble Blood Angels. I shall be prognosticating on what I would like to occur. Please remember, this is not what I think will occur. I claim no insider knowledge, and this is merely what I feel could be introduced by Games Workshop to bring about their most dramatic and exceptional story so far. The Blood Angels have always been one of the greatest of the Emperor's legions of the Adeptus Astartes. Their constant struggle against their brutal nature, epitomized by the Red Thirst and the Black Rage, make them the most steadfast and mentally strong of all Space Marines. The Blood Angels are almost incorruptible, even when compared to their brother Astartes, as every hour of every day they must resist the urges that come with their gene seed. The urge to kill and tear and drink the blood of their enemies. The urge to unshackle themselves from discipline and sanity and wade into the berserk frenzy that haunts their every waking moment. A weakling fop will proclaim that they have never been tempted. How will they know what they will do when they are tempted then? Only through resisting temptation can one say that one has shown character and strength. This very act, the resisting of temptation, is the furnace by which the soul is steeled. The Blood Angels endure the furnace of the Red Thirst and the Black Rage every second of every day. The character of the Blood Angels, with only a few exceptions, has remained stalwart for over 10,000 years. But here is the ultimate rub. Time. That ticking time bomb within their souls. Even the mightiest cliff can be eroded by the gentle lap of the waves given enough time, and thus the fate of even the most iron-willed Blood Angel is always a battle not only against their urges, but against time itself. All of the sons of Sanguinius know that they will inevitably succumb to one or both of these curses, and their lives of honor, endurance, and sacrifice will be washed away in a tide of rage that will reduce them to ravening beasts. So the Blood Angels are also the most reckless and aggressive of all of the loyalist legions, for compared to this horror, this fate of their last moments besmirching a lifetime of control, death holds no fear and can be a blessing from the Emperor. In third place is the most obvious and prosaic of my prognostications, so I will not dwell on it over long. We all know it will happen. We just do not know when. Let us hope it is during the Psychic Awakening, then. My prognostication is threefold, and that Mephiston will cross the Rubicon Primaris and gain in power. Astaroth will have no choice but to do so, as otherwise he will be overmatched by my second choice, which simply will not do. And that the Regent of the Imperium Nihilus will lead the way for his chapter and legion, and cross with zeal, for we all know Dante is secretly wishing for a release from his duty, despite his promise to his sire. My number 2 choice. Let us begin with existing lore to whet the palate. To quote, Blood Angels are unique in that deeply ingrained in their gene seed is the encoded experience of Sanguinius, and most deeply imprinted of all is the memory of his final battle with Horus. Sometimes even an event of circumstance will trigger this race memory. This happens only rarely, often on the eve of battle, but it is likely to be a fatal experience for the warrior whose mind is suddenly wrenched into the distant past. What has become known as the Black Rage overcomes him. The memories and consciousness of Sanguinius intrudes upon his mind, and dire events 10,000 years old flood into the present. Suffused with the dying memories of Sanguinius, the warriors of the Death Company seek only one thing: death in battle fighting against the enemies of the Emperor. The Death Company is arrayed in black armor upon which are painted red saltires, crosses of blood rage which symbolize the sacrifice of Sanguinius. The company is led into battle and directed towards the foe by the chapter chaplains. The warriors fight with the certainty of death and are completely fearless, ignoring wounds that would fell a normal man. Should they survive the battle, they will probably die of their wounds afterwards, once the frenzied slaughter is past. It is better this way, for those who do survive almost always fall victim to the red thirst, turning into creatures no better than wild beasts craving flesh and blood. Better by far to die cleanly and quickly in battle than to suffer such a fate. End quote. Although I believe that we will not see chapter or legion, specific or specialist units until Phase 2 of the Primaris rollout from Games Workshop, I will present my reasons as to why I hope that the Death Company should be exempt from this pacing. The Red Thirst is indeed a fundamental part of the gene seed of the 9th Legion, the Blood Angels, but it was thus designed by the Emperor, so can it be wrong? But either way, it is something that is written into their very DNA. The Black Rage is not so. It is activated by the blood of Sanguinius coursing through the veins of the Blood Angel. It is the connection to the Great Angel, and the basis of the curse which was laid upon them by Kabanda, the bloodthirster of Khorne. Being a Blood Angel means you are cursed. But I believe it is a curse from chaos, so therefore it is psychic in nature, as its genesis and power is of the warp. Hence, I believe that the psychic awakening will increase the potency of this curse to such an extent that even the creations of Khorne, the Primaris Marines, will fall to its influence, if they hold the blood of Sanguinius in their veins. So, my second choice is Primaris Death Company. So now we come to my number 1, my top pick for the Blood Angels and the Psychic Awakening. I'm sure it will cause some furore. To quote, "The Sanguinor is a mysterious figure that appears during the Blood Angel's greatest need. To many among the battle brothers of the chapter he is a myth, as few survive the battles that warrant his appearance, but members of the Blood Angel's Reclusium know otherwise, keeping detailed records of his manifestations through the millennia. While the Sanguinor's deeds are unquestioned, there has been much debate regarding his true nature. Members of the chapter council argue that he is the manifestation of Sanguinius' noble nature, lost to the chapter with his death at the hands of Horus, while the Sanguinary Guard believe that he is the founder of their order, Ascalon, preserved beyond time through the Emperor's grace. There are Blood Angels who believe that the Sanguinor is a soul of a wronged brother seeking redemption, and there are those who do not believe in the Sanguinor at all, thinking it is just a symbol of Blood Angel's rage. The Inquisition have their own opinions about the matter, theorizing that the Sanguinor is some sort of psychic construct, furthering their thoughts that the Blood Angels are just one step short of damnation." End quote. We know that Sanguinius' soul can now make contact directly with his sons, as he did with Dante during the confrontation with the Great Devourer. A clear indicant that the chains that hold his mighty soul to the ventral spirit have weakened. But what if the Sanguinor, Ascalon, was bequeathed his immortality and power from the very spirit of Sanguinius? What if the power that has kept Ascalon alive and clothed him in might, being able to transport himself across the stars to the places that he is needed most, and then the potency to annihilate the foes of the Imperium? What if they were merely a taste? What if the psychic awakening, the opening of the doors between the materium and the immaterium, the physical and the spiritual, the real world and the warp, have finally unchained that mighty soul? What better receptacle for the might and majesty of the soul of Sanguinius than that which has always been connected to him and part infused? I give you my number 1, my top pick for the Blood Angels in the Psychic Awakening. I give you the Sanguinor Resplendent, Sanguinius' soul made manifest. There is more. Just for the loyal 9th. I do this only for my fellow sons of Sanguinius. During the Great Crusade, before Sanguinius joined his legion, their brother legionaries Astartes dubbed them the Eaters of the Dead, and they were known for their bloody campaigns of terror. But when the Great Angel took command of his legion, he calmed their souls. He brought control and restraint. He showed them how to be the noble beings that they were always designed to be. It only took his presence to uncover their greatness. What if the great angel manifest, the Sanguinor resplendent, could bring his men back from the rage? What if he could turn this on and off at will? An entire legion of Astartes could become ravening beasts when needed, then return to the gentle poets, most noble of all Astartes, when it was over. Traitors, heretics, Xenos, never born. If this is so, then your days are numbered. For the 9th, for Sanguinius, and for the Emperor. Make it so, GW. Make it so.